StraighTallDay.com.
You're now tuned into the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you've expected to achieve has yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative. What is that? That is the go-getter energy that moves any one of us, including yourself, to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. And then we put all this together into a series of frameworks, approaches, insights, strategies, and techniques all underneath the umbrella of one unified philosophy that is called work on your game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. And today's topic is embracing discomfort for growth. But before we get started, let me remind you all, I send out a text message every single day that is guaranteed to have you focused, sharp, and on point to start your day. I gave it a name. It is called the Daily Motivation. I will send it to your phone every single day for free. Yes, free. All you got to do is join my text community to get it by texting me at my number, which is 305-384-6894. Every day when that daily motivation text goes out, you and everyone else who is a member of my text community shall receive that message free of charge. Secondly, Work on Your Game University. That is where I do all my coaching. That is where I work with entrepreneurs like yourself, professionals like yourself, who are serious about taking your game to the next level, and you want a 4-part framework for doing so based in mindset, strategy, systems, and accountability. I will help you do that, implement it, and be with you along the way of doing so. Go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. You can not only schedule a time to get on the call with us, you can also see our training that we make specifically for people who are at the 6-figure level looking to increase your income, and also case studies and testimonials from people who have worked with us in the past, so you know that we are not experimenting on you. We know exactly what we're doing, and we will help you get to your next level. Same way that athletes get to that top 1%, I'm helping entrepreneurs do the same thing. Again, go to workonyourgameuniversity.com, and I will show you that I'm telling you the truth. With all that said, let's get into this topic, which is embracing discomfort for growth. Now, this is one of those topics that many people think they, quote unquote, already know. I hear people say this to me, not that often, but often enough that it catches my ear when people say, "Oh, you're talking about things that I already know." Not necessarily in a bad way. They're like, you're kind of giving me a reminder of things that I already know. And reminding people of these, this is one of those topics, again, people think they already know what they need to know about this particular subject. But here's my pushback to that thought, okay? I don't give a damn about what you know. So if you're listening to this show and you've ever heard me talk about something that you, quote unquote, already know, here's my response to that, even whether you're thinking it or you've ever actually typed that or said that to anyone. I don't give a damn what you know. And anyone else who's out there who understands what I'm about to explain, they don't give a damn about what you know. All right, what you know is, for the most part, useless. You know, they say knowledge is power. That's not actually true. All right, what you know, that knowledge that you have means nothing. Here's what matters. What have you actually done? Don't tell me what you know. Tell me what you've done. Okay, so any subject on this show, on this feed that you've heard me talk about in the past and you remember me talking about it, the fact that you heard me talking about it doesn't mean anything. What did you do based on the fact that you heard me talking about it? Have you applied what you know? Because if you haven't applied it, then you don't know it. You don't truly know something until you've done it. And you don't really know it until you teach it. And you don't really know it until somebody will pay you to teach it. So what you know means nothing. Similar to when someone has a bunch of books they can list off that they have read, or you got a big bookshelf with a bunch of books on it. Okay, that's cool. But your bookshelf, I mean, it may look good in your house, but the bookshelf itself doesn't mean anything to me. Tell me, what have you done based on the books that you read? Pull a book off that shelf. Tell me what you applied from the book. That's what I want to know. So what you know isn't that important. What have you done? What actions have you taken based on what you know? That's the important part. So whatever you think you already know about embracing discomfort for growth, tell me, where have you applied it in your life that we can see it and is obvious? If you can't answer that question, then keep listening, and hopefully you apply something here today. Write down what you're going to apply. All right, that's what I want you to write down. Take notes on what you're going to actually do. Even if you only write one note, as long as you go apply something, that's what I want to know. Then you can tell me about it, and we can use it as a testimonial that you actually did something. But you jerking off on the information doesn't help me or you. All right, and your hands might get messy. Let's get into the topic. Point number one. Today's topic, once again, is embracing discomfort for growth. Number one, humans are incredible adaptation machines. We are great at adapting to things. We get used to anything when we are exposed to it often enough. Anything. The thing that you are super surprised by the first time you came across it, the 75th time you come across it, doesn't surprise you anymore, right? All right. It's the same. It applies to anything you could possibly encounter, anything you could possibly involve yourself in life. You get exposed to it often enough, it will no longer be that exciting. People who are better than you at anything, the difference between them and you is that they have simply adapted to things that you have not yet adapted to. So they're better than you at that thing because they're used to doing things that you ain't used to doing yet. That's what makes them better. Now, I'll talk a lot here on this show, that is, about operating with speed, right? And doing things with speed and doing things now. I talked about this in the episode on how to get more life out of your life. If you didn't hear that episode, that was episode number 2648. For some of you, it's very uncomfortable to operate with more speed and to do things now instead of doing them later. Why? Because you are not used to operating under any type of pressure, especially time pressure, especially anything that involves urgency, like doing things now. So you're not used to time pressure. You're not used to doing things now. You're not used to pushing yourself, let alone have anybody else push you to do anything. This actually, for many of you, it induces anxiety. I know people personally who actually say this to me. I get anxious when I feel like I'm under time pressure or someone's trying to make me do things now, or I feel like somebody's getting impatient because I'm not doing things immediately and I'm not going fast enough. I get anxious and I get nervous and I get stressed out about that. They say it as if this is this bad thing and they're trying to stop people from doing this to them. I know people personally who say things just like this. And some of you say this and I don't even know you. But while you say that and you believe it, I believe that you believe it, you can logically accept that doing things fast and doing things urgently means, just on a logical level, you will get more things done because you're doing them fast and doing them now, which means you'll be able to get more life out of your life because you're getting more things done in a shorter period of time. You are compressing time, which means instead of getting 10 things done in a day, you can get 17 things done in a day. If you get 17 things done every day instead of 10 things done every day, that means you'll probably get more things done before you die than if you kept doing things at your comfortable pace. Can you rationally agree with that point? Is anybody who disagrees rationally with that point? Now, again, in episode 2648, I explained this all in detail. So if you haven't listened to that, go listen. Yet, despite the agreement that everyone listening to me right now has with the point that I just made, despite the fact that everybody agrees with me, you are still uncomfortable with the concept of doing things fast and now. How is this possible? Well, I'll tell you how it's possible, because human beings are not rational and logical. All right, this is why it's possible. So even though I can make all the logical points in the world, and as a matter of fact, on this very feed, on this show right here, what episode are we on? We're on episode number, if my count is right here, episode number 2,695. I've given you 2,600 plus episodes of me explaining to you many times, and this is just the default, the way that my brain works, a whole bunch of logical and rational points that I've given you here on this show. And over, what is that? Let's just say every episode is somewhere between 20 and 30 minutes. Let's just do the math on that. So 2,000, I'm gonna pull my calculator up here so we make sure we're precise. So in the history of this show, we got 2,000, we'll just say 2,600 episodes, right? And we'll just say each episode is somewhere between 20 and 30-ish minutes, but we'll just say 20 minutes. We'll go we'll err on the side of modesty, and we'll say these are about 20 minutes. That equals 52,000 minutes. 52,000 minutes divided by 60 minutes per hour, that's 866 hours. So over 800, nearly 1,000 hours of material that I've given you here on this show of logical, rational points. Yet, there are people who still do not apply these things. Why? Why do people still not apply these things? Because people are not rational and logical. All right, that's the whole point. This is the reason why people don't apply these things. And here's the thing that you need to get from that. People who are able to get more out of their lives, they get their emotions out of the damn way. All right, some of you just haven't yet mastered the skill of getting your emotions out of the way. So even though you understand something logically, you still won't do it because your emotions are blocking you from taking that action. And emotion will overpower logic when they're battling. People who are able to get more out of their life than you are have adjusted themselves to the pressure and the urgency of doing things now and doing things fast. And they've adjusted themselves better than you have adjusted yourself. Maybe you haven't even tried to adjust yourself because you don't want to. They've just gotten better at doing it than you have. That's it. That's the only difference. That's the only difference. All you have to do is better adjust yourself to dealing with that pressure, and you can produce the same results, maybe even more results than they do, because you may have more overall skill. And if you match their urgency and their speed, then it'll be skill versus skill instead of skill and urgency versus Less skill plus urgency may beat more skill with no urgency. Everybody get what I'm saying here? So here's the truth. Your body and mind will adapt to any change that you force upon it. Any change you will force upon your body or mind, it will adapt. But you must be non-negotiable about it and serious about making a change. Any of you who's a meat eater, heavy meat eater, if you decided to go vegan, you might feel a little bit sick, you might have withdrawals, and you might hate it if you decided to cold turkey go vegan right now and you're used to eating a nice big juicy steak. All right, you may have withdrawal symptoms, you may hate it, you may hate yourself, you may hate whoever suggested it to you, but if you stick to it and you absolutely mean it and you do not negotiate with yourself about it, your body will adjust to you only eating plants and leaves and eating like a rabbit. All right, you will adjust to it if you had to. I'm not saying that you should. This is not nutritional advice. I'm saying if you made that adjustment, you would adjust. Your body would adjust. If you used to drinking alcohol every day and you just stop cold turkey, again, you may feel like shit for a month when you stop doing it, but your body will adjust. If you never drink water and you start drinking a whole bunch of water, you will adjust. Anything that you force yourself to adjust to, human beings have this amazing, incredible ability to adapt to any forced adjustment. Here's the challenge for many of you is that you go halfway in your adjustments. You make half adjustments. And when you make a halfway adjustment, it's easy to undo that, slow walk it, and go right back to what you were used to. Your subconscious mind fights back and it keeps you in your comfort zone, whatever you were used to doing before. Comfort zone is not necessarily a bad thing. Whatever you were used to doing before, your subconscious mind will fight to keep you there unless you say this is non-negotiable. I'm absolutely doing this, and I don't give a damn what the subconscious mind says. We're making this change. This is the story of most people's lives. What I just said, not the part about making the change, the part about not making the change because your subconscious mind fights back. And when the subconscious mind fights back and says, boo, you go scurrying back to where you're comfortable. You go scurrying back to your comfort zone because you're not really serious about making the change. This is why many people don't change. Not because you don't know what change you want to make, not because you don't know how to make the change, not because you're not aware of the process it would require. It's simply because you don't want to deal with the discomfort of the change. Change is uncomfortable. Again, this is why the law of inertia is a law and not a theory. Point number two. Today's topic, once again, is embracing discomfort for growth. Number two, if you would like to expand your comfort zone, in other words, you want to get more comfortable with more stuff, you must push yourself to be uncomfortable until it becomes normal. Until the thing that you're uncomfortable with becomes a normal thing and is no longer uncomfortable, then you can do it again, then you can do it again, then you can do it again, and you can keep doing this, so forth and so on. You can keep expanding what you're comfortable with. So if you're only used to, if you're lifting weights, you're only used to lifting a weight 5 times, that's your comfort zone. Now push yourself to lift it 8 times. It'll be uncomfortable the first time, but if you keep doing it, then eventually 8 becomes normal. Then you push yourself to do 10. 10 becomes normal. Then 15. And 15, first time you do 15, you'll feel your arm's going to fall off. But if you keep doing it, then eventually 15 becomes normal, and so forth and so on until you could lift the weight 100 times without stopping. And everybody in the gym is looking at you like, how is this person able to lift that weight 100 times without stopping? Well, you just follow the process that I just laid out for you. You just have to be willing to push yourself or be pushed, one or the other, maybe both, to an uncomfortable space until it is normal to be in that uncomfortable space. This is not easy, but it can be normalized. And understand it's not supposed to be easy. I believe that many people, especially in today's world, have been conditioned to expect things to be easy. And when things are not easy, they complain and protest as if things being easy was like some kind of promised, guaranteed, like some contractual obligation that the world has made with you. The world has made no such obligations. It's not supposed to be easy. You want to be exceptional, you want to be different, you want to be better than the people around you, you want to be better than yourself, is not going to be easy. But you can normalize things not being easy. That's the whole point. Pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and making that the normal way to do things. This is what we call the fourth day. The fourth day is something I talk about in my book, The Third Day. If you're watching on video, you see it over my shoulder here. If you're not watching on video, you can get a visual and order your copy of the book for free by going to thirddaybook.com. Again, that's thirddaybook.com. That link is down below in the description of wherever you're consuming this. The fourth day is what happens after you push yourself through those challenging moments over and over and over again. And then going through the challenging moments starts to become normal because you've done it so many times that now it doesn't hurt anymore. So now you basically expanded your comfort zone and raised your level of standard. That's what the fourth day is. When the comfort zone expands, you are conditioned to do things that used to be hard for you. Now, what used to be hard is now normal. Now you can create a new hard. This is how you continually expand, expand, expand. As I just touched on at the end of point number one, I just talked about this. People who live at a higher level than you and seem to be doing it relatively easier, they are not more talented than you. That's a lie. They are not smarter than you. Absolutely a lie. And they are not accessing resources that you do not have access to. Even though they may have resources you don't have access to, that's not the reason why they're performing at a higher level than you. Access to resources is usually a trailing indicator, not a leading indicator. Meaning, in other words, that happens after, not before. It's a result of them playing at that the resources is again a result, an after effect of playing at a higher level. The reason people are playing at a higher level than you is because they live in the fourth day. Where they live is normal for them, but it's the fourth day for you. Is what your fourth day would look like if you would push yourself on the third days. But since you haven't yet done that, you haven't made it to the fourth day. So therefore, you can't live the way that they're living. They're living that way because they're used to doing stuff that you ain't used to doing. Should I say that one more time? The people who are playing the game at a higher level than you are used to doing things that you are not yet used to doing, but those things are accessible to you. The things that they're used to doing, you have not yet accessed. That's the difference between them and you. Everybody got that? They have gotten used to the pressure, the anxiety, and the self-induced eustress that pushes them to a higher level. You have not, for whatever reason. And eustress is the good kind of stress, the kind of stress you put yourself into on purpose, right? Kind of like lifting weights. The one thing that will make the difference is your willingness to get out of and stay out of your comfort zone for long enough to make being out of your comfort zone normal. That's it. Get out of your comfort zone for long enough that it's normal to be out of your comfort zone. If you could do that, a lot of things will change for you really quickly. Not slowly, quickly. Point number 3. Today's topic, once again, is embracing discomfort for your own personal growth. Number 3, be sure to choose the right discomforts. All right, this is where accurate formulas come into play. There's a lot of things you can do to make yourself uncomfortable. All right, for example, just yesterday I was heating up some food in the toaster oven, and my son was trying to reach at the toaster oven. I warned him, do not touch this toaster oven. It gets hot. You don't want to touch it. Now, the toaster oven was closed at the time. Then I opened it to take some food out. He put his hand right on the rack of the toaster oven. Right when I had taken the food out, he immediately pulled his hand back and he started crying because he burned his hand touching the toaster oven. Now, was that uncomfortable for him? Yes, it was. Now, is this the kind of discomfort I'm suggesting you go through? No. See, just because it's uncomfortable doesn't mean it's the right thing that's going to help you grow. So you got to choose the right discomforts. All right, there's a lot of things you could do to get uncomfortable. You could jump off the roof of a 3-story building. All right, that will be uncomfortable, but you probably shouldn't do that because that's not going to help you grow. It might actually make you do the opposite of growth, whatever you call that. Coaching helps with choosing the right discomforts so that you're not using too much of your resources doing the wrong things or doing a whole bunch of trial and error, which is what a lot of people do. And they use up a whole lot of resources, most specifically their time and their energy, trying to figure things out. And they still never figure it out despite all their efforts because they're operating by an inaccurate formula, which is having themselves as the guide for their growth. Sometimes you shouldn't be the guide for your growth. You should be the student, not the teacher. So you'll be getting out of your comfort zone means exactly that, getting out of your comfort zone. But it would be smart to be strategic about when, where, and how you get out of your comfort zone and why you're doing so. And so you're doing it with an actual plan, a formula in mind, not just randomly doing stuff. And I hope this works. What exactly are you looking to achieve in your process? This is where coaching helps because a good coach can see things in you and for you that you cannot see in and for yourself. And a good coach probably relative to you knows stuff that you don't know. They have ways of looking at things that you have not looked at them in that way. Doesn't mean that they're necessarily smarter than you. They just know things in certain areas that you don't know. That's what a good coach does. Right? Everybody understand this? And a good coach can help direct your energy towards the discomforts that will pull the right levers, so to speak. So you're getting the highest return on investment on your discomfort. Because anytime you put yourself in an uncomfortable position on purpose, you should be getting some return on that investment. You shouldn't be putting yourself in an uncomfortable position on purpose and not getting any better despite that discomfort. Because then what'd you get uncomfortable for? What was the point? This is where a good coach can help you. All right, so we're going to do this thing. It's going to be uncomfortable, but here's the benefit you're going to get on the other side. Now, if you're getting uncomfortable and not getting any benefits, well, you got to fire the person in charge. And usually, for most of you, the person in charge is you. You got to fire yourself. I did a whole episode here on this show about When to Fire Yourself. That was episode number 2084. And also, 2084. When to Fire Yourself. So you want to get the highest return on investment for discomfort and the eustress that you are voluntarily putting yourself through. Again, it's like a good trainer in the gym will show you the right exercises to do to reach your fitness goals, as opposed to you going to the gym by yourself, randomly using machines and hoping that you get a result, failing, and then saying, well, something's wrong with the gym. No, nothing's wrong with the gym. Something's wrong with your trainer. Your trainer is you. All right, so you fire your trainer, then we fix the problem. Biggest challenge many people have when they are running into challenges in life is that you are solving for the wrong issue. Now you're trying to fix the wrong problem. And when you fix the wrong problem, you're going to have more of the same problem and even worse problems, because sometimes you might have fixed something that wasn't broken. Accurate formulas, folks. We talk about accurate formulas a lot here on the show. If you have not listened to my episode on accurate formulas, listen to episode number 2154. So with all that said, recapping today's class, which is embracing discomfort for growth. Again, it's one of those things that people think they already know. The question is, what are you doing to apply it? Have you actually applied it? And can you explain how? If not, then you don't know it. Point number one, humans are incredible adaptation machines. We put ourselves into any circumstance, we will find a way to adapt to it. Challenge is many people never adapt to anything because we don't put ourselves through things. We usually try to stay in our comfort zone. We will fight to do so, which is a mistake. Number two, you want to expand your comfort zone, push yourself to be uncomfortable a few times in a certain area, and it will become normal. You're used to doing 10 reps, do 20. You're used to doing 20, do 30. You're used to doing 30, do 50. Your comfort zone will expand, and you will, as a human, adapt to the change when you force yourself to make the adaptation. But when you are not serious about the adaptation, your subconscious mind and your comfort zone will fight to keep you in the same place. And this is the story of most people's lives. They stay in the same place, not because you don't know what to do, but because you are unwilling to push yourself to get out of it. And number three, be sure to choose the right discomforts. This is where a good coach can help you. They can help you choose the discomforts. They can help hold your hand through the discomforts, help you understand why you're going through the discomforts, and won't let you quit on yourself as you usually do when you're alone. When you get to the discomforts, they will not allow you to quit because they're holding you accountable to keep going. Whereas when you are in charge of holding yourself accountable, it's easy to quit. And this is, again, story of many people's lives, why you are not getting the outcomes you want. And it's not a lack of knowledge, resources, or intention. It's a lack of strategy and putting the right pieces in place to help you get the outcome. So with all that said, text me. Tell me you want to get the daily motivation text that I send out every morning. My number is 305-384-6894. Send a text to that number right now. Tomorrow you'll be getting the daily motivation. And Work on Your Game University. If I'm a person who could be your coach, if I can help you get to the next level, I want you to go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. I want you to see the feedback, the case studies, the testimonials, the experiences from others who have gone through the Work on Your Game program. See what they say. Then click the button right there on that page to schedule a time to get on a call with me or somebody on my team. We'll talk about where you're at, where you want to go, if we can possibly help you. If so, we'll tell you what it looks like and how it works from there. You'll get great value just from that call alone, but you'll get more value working with us long term. But let's cross that bridge when we get there. First of all, you got to go to workonyourgameuniversity.com and do what I just told you to do. The link is down below in the description. Work on your game. Dre, all